G'day guys and welcome to Comics to Movies and More. I'm your host Sean Keenan. I'm super excited about tonight's show. We have our first female guest. She's a friend and we haven't had a catch up since all this COVID stuff hit. So I'm super excited about today's show. We'll be talking about the movie Elektra, and we will also be giving you a sneak peek into a new project that I'm going to be working on. And as always, I have Stephen here with me as well. So before I pull everyone out, if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and click that notify bell for when we go live. But g'day guys, hey Stephen, and our guest is Lauren Marshall / Armstrong. So congratulations on the wedding again.
Woo!
Oh, number one, Sean, the cap. Usually it's something pop culture related. So I've got to ask. That's a Kylo cap, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, you got it right.
It's brand new. Brand new. First time I'm wearing it is on the show. So
it's very shiny.
It does look a little bit weird with the glasses, but I can't see you guys if I take my glasses off. So I have to wear the glasses. So
and the shirt, we can't say
Black Panther.
Black Panther.
See, Sean dresses up. I just wear the same cap every week, but Sean dresses up every week.
It's brand. You got to roll with it. It's fine.
Yeah, the worst thing is when you see like a repeated shows and you're like, oh, did I wear that two shows in a row? Really? I need to get some more clothes. Like so. But Lauren, before we get in and speak about Elektra, can you give everyone a bit of an explanation on what you do, where you've come from, and your little bio?
Yeah, we're happy to do so. So obviously, Lauren Marshall / Armstrong recently. I am a traditional artist. I like to do all things traditionally inking and coloring, but I have recently delved into digital art. But I am a sequential artist, comic cover artist, illustrator, everything. I just love pop culture and I love the whole scene. So basically, I'm a nerd. That's just who I am. But yeah, that's me in a nutshell. It's just a complete idiot that likes to draw.
I've got to sneak in. Oh, sorry. I've got to sneak in for this one. There's actually been a real big development in digital art. I don't know if you've heard about it. And sure, I don't. If you've heard NFTs, I think that's the right terminology. The whole idea is if you do digital art, the whole concept art, like if you make a Mona Lisa, you have one physical copy of the Mona Lisa. You can have prints, you can have it be printed in books, you can have multiple copies of it, but there's only going to be one Mona Lisa. So they're doing the same with digital art. So you can actually buy something like a Bitcoin, a crypto lock.
Wow.
So you can own that one copy of the digital art is going to be yours, and you own that digital coin that proves to you that that copy of art belongs to you. So similarly, there's one Mona Lisa. There's only one digital coin per artwork that you create. So the whole concept about it is, you can sell the rights, you can get printed, can do all these weird and wonderful things, but it allows people who do digital art to start selling digital art as digital coins.
Well, see, that's interesting though, because I was really enthusiastic about doing traditional artwork because the fact that you couldn't have something that was authentic, you couldn't have something in your hand that you'd be able to have something that would be like, look, this is 100% authentic, this is an original. But that's actually really interesting and probably something I'll look into tomorrow.
Yeah. And I will say, and I'll expand on that, there is a company that I've been dealing with called Crypto Comics. And they're doing the exact same thing. So the biggest thing, especially, all three of us here have done Kickstarters. We've all offered digital rewards. Now, the biggest thing with that, and what a lot of people say is like, I don't want to give digital rewards because, they can go off and reprint and do whatever and share and all that type of stuff. And I'm getting no reward over it. I'm like, look, if it's getting it out there to more people, I'm happy with that. But this company, which I love the idea, is exactly what you just said, Stephen. It's a platform-based comic, so like Comixology and everything, except for the one difference. You set the amount of limit or print run in the digital edition. Each one of those has like a NFT or a Bitcoin value assigned to it. And once they're all sold out, they're all sold out. Then the marketplace side of this digital platform comes in, is then you can sell and trade your digital comic, which is what you can't do in that physical. I mean, you can do in the physical environment, and that's been that difference. Is how do you hold any sort of value for a digital product when you can't like touch it and anyone can copy it and all that type of stuff? So I've been working with them, and one thing that I would like to do in the future is start offering my Kickstarter backers this crypto comic, so that they then have a value on that comic on top of this. So there will only be a certain run. You will only be able to access it within this market platform, and you can sell it, resell it, all that type of stuff. And then from the creator side, you get a cut of everything because it's all Bitcoin related. It all comes back to that initial sale or that initial print run. So you can sell all of the print run. Then if they on sell it, you get a little bit of that on sale as well, and so on and so forth. So for as long as you've got that in the marketplace, you're continually making money off the digital comic. So yeah.
No, I think that's fascinating, and it's again, it helps creators like probably like yourself, Lauren, because you can sell the rights for it, but you will always hold that one coin, which is basically the one coin for one piece of digital artwork. You can sell it, you can do whatever you want with it, but that coin represents your almost like your physical copy of that artwork.
Right.
Anyway, NFTs, if you ever get bored. Want to say hi to the chat? So make sure we say hi to everybody who's joining.
Yep, so we've got Halftone Productions, or Kieran. Here you go, mate. We've got Grace, Courtney, Jackie, Nerds Amalgamated, Robert, Craig. So, hey, guys, we haven't gotten into the movie yet. We kind of got a little bit sidetracked about digital stuff, but that's the best thing about this show. I think it's really interesting because for like anything, there's been that period of time where people are like, well, I don't want to do digital because, traditional is the way thing. Everyone likes to, feel that artwork and know that there's an original copy of it. And then there's that time where people kind of moving from one stage to the other. And then it comes to that point where people are like, okay, we're all over here now. How do we make money off it?
Well, it also comes into effect with COVID as well, because obviously, especially with the recent Kickstarter that I did and trying to send everything out, postage was maybe quadruple the price. It was ridiculous. It really bit me in the butt, and it stung so much.
Oh.
But the thing is that people can't afford to pay the postage, especially if we did it correctly. If we put up like a $20 tier, say, and then we had a postage of, I don't know, $30, $40, like that's ridiculous. Something that's worth more than the actual physical product. And then if obviously people like to have collectibles, they like to have something that is worth value, right? So this crypto stuff makes sense, right? When we don't have the ability to be able to send stuff out so easily these days.
Yeah. And not just that, because I fulfilled the Kickstarter last year as well. What the US usually takes about 2 to 4 weeks. If you're shipping from the US, it takes about 2 to 4 weeks, 5-6 weeks at an absolute pinch. My stuff was taking 4 months, and I was getting people hitting me up, going, "Hey, look, have you sent it?" I'm going, "Yes, I have sent it. I can prove the date I sent it. Here. Just bear with me, please. It's really out of my control." 4 months, and you saw some of the photos from the U.S. Postal Service where you see parcels just some of the more like people who worked in the postal system in the U.S. just took photos of just backlogs. You know, it just was
Overwhelmed.
absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
4 to 5 months is crazy.
I sent stuff out in July, and people were getting it just before Christmas, and I was like,
wow.
I'd sent that like months ago, and people were like, "Oh, I forgot I had even back to this. This is great. Merry Christmas to me." So that was a good thing. Talking about Bitcoin and everything, has anyone been brave enough here to actually invest a little bit?
Dogecoin is pretty cute. I was tempted to just for the fun of it, but no, I haven't touched any of the cryptocurrencies.
Look, I invest in myself.
I have, but only fairly recently. So I missed out on the really massive boom. But I was having a little bit of a play and thought, a few bucks wouldn't hurt. But I'm as my wife likes to say, a bit of a tight ass. So you're not gonna see me spend too much money on that stuff anyway. So hi Chris, how you going, mate? So anyway, so we are going to be talking about Elektra tonight. So it was International Women's Day on Monday. We've got an amazing guest who, if you haven't noticed, is a woman. Our first female on the show. So I'm super happy about that as well. But I actually picked this movie because I feel like it was one of the really first good female superhero actresses that got her own movie. I wouldn't say it was the best film, unfortunately, but I loved Jennifer Garner as Elektra. I thought she was amazing. I think she's, I loved Alias. I loved all the action that she was able to portray. I just felt the actual story kind of let her down in this movie. I would have liked to see her maybe get one more shot at playing the character, but that was not to be. So I'm hoping that both of you guys have seen this movie, considering I selected it.
Yes, definitely saw it.
I'll let Lauren go first, actually. So your thoughts on it?
Look, all right, they did this girl dirty, in my opinion. The poor thing. Oh, okay. So Elektra, she is, especially in comics and stuff, like real badass, like powerhouse of a woman. And I just felt so rushed, so incredibly rushed in this film. And she didn't get the spotlight that she needed. I think they were trying to really drag on from the Daredevil limelight that they had, where Marvel was sort of kind of like getting their feet in terms of movies before Iron Man. And so they just sort of pushed, actually forced her into the spotlight. And she did great. She obviously just came off of Alias, and then she already had the training and stuff, but that transition wise, it didn't work out as great as it should have.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I've talked about this a couple of times, but the Daredevil director's cut, where Daredevil and Elektra don't even get together, is absolutely amazing. It absolutely changes that whole film. And I can understand, if you watch that, why DC went after Ben Affleck to play Batman. But I just felt, I 100% agree with you on this. I felt like the script on this was really rushed and was not really thought out and really character driven. She's this really badass character, yet they tried to make her this mum character in this movie, which I felt kind of clashed with the type of character that she was supposed to be portraying, type of thing. That's where I felt the movie kind of let her down. So, what did you think, Stephen?
Actually, yeah, no, I agree with all the points. I actually wanted to be more ruthless, to be really fair. Look, mainly because of how she's portrayed in the comics and stuff like that. She's just not meant to be a nice person, and that's okay, And I wanted her to be absolutely ruthless, achieve her goals at any means, and yet they softened it up too much.
Well, she's an
And
assassin, right? She's meant to kill
exactly,
people.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
you saw her maybe kill like at the beginning scene, yeah, she killed a few
Mhm.
people and it was just kind of like set the tone. And then
Mhm.
after that, you didn't really see too much blood and guts. Like, you're like, bruh, like this girl's meant to
Kinda.
like be an assassin. Like,
I wanted that actually, and the thing is, I like I'll give the example. Say, what's may call it, Ripley in Aliens. Man, um she killed a lot of aliens, and in the end, she was going, you know what? I'm gonna hunt the queen down because that's what I
mm,
want to do, and it's okay. I always keep thinking with Elektra, they didn't push that boundary of her. They didn't just go, you know what? Make her be that absolute ruthless assassin that she's meant to be, and let her, explore that part of it. And they didn't. It was a bit of a letdown. They made it a bit too soft. That's what I
yeah,
think in the end.
Yeah, and I would like the idea, like, when she, dies and gets brought back to life, like that kind of that DC theme where, they use the Lazarus pit and they kind of have that blood rage type of thing. Like, I would have liked to have seen her, like her character go down that type of storyline path than being like a mentor slash mother figure to a little girl. And I think Mandeep hit it on the head here, where he said the film actually seemed to concentrate more on the teenage girl rather than Elektra herself. And I think that's 100% right. And I think that's where it kind of fell. It fell down. Like you thought you were watching a movie about Elektra, but you actually didn't see Elektra being an assassin. You just saw her kind of like protecting and being this mother figure to another central character type of thing. So
and don't you think it's a bit cliche as well? Like,
yeah,
like not to be like women, they're meant to be a mother figure, but this is exactly what it did. It was just like, okay, she's a woman. What kind of story can we give her? She's going to be a mother figure to this new Elektra, pretty much. And it was just
yeah,
like, meh, nah.
100%. I would have liked to have done like a Punisher style story, where they maybe kill someone close to her, and she
Mm.
literally goes on a rampage. If you've seen Peppermint with Jennifer Garner, that's the exact story of her. So it's based on her family gets killed. The police go, we don't know who did it. We can't find it. She goes away, does all this, training, everything, then comes back as this kick ass, like, warrior chicken hunts down all these guys. That's the story I would have liked more, or even a maybe an Assassin's Creed type game where it was half heist, half action type thing. I just felt like this was just really poorly written, and did not do much, I guess, for as you said before, Iron Man. The only real Marvel movies I thought were really fantastic were the Blade 1 and 2. I really enjoyed Blade 1 and 2. I thought they were great. Blade 3 was freaking horrible. Yeah.
What do you think of the Netflix? Sorry. You go.
No, but the set design was fine, but the costumes and that were not great either. Like, they obviously didn't have a budget that was to the same extent as Daredevil, because the Daredevil costumes were fine. Like, I know she was in black leather in the Daredevil movie, and they obviously wanted to go true to more to the red side that she normally wears, but it was a nasty, nasty corset that she was wearing, and it didn't look like it was very easily movable in. Like, it didn't work for me.
And that's that attention to detail as well. Like, as you said, she's supposed to be an assassin. What assassin's going to wear
Assassin
a
doesn't wear a
corset?
corset.
No,
Sorry.
they don't worry about lifting up their boobs and everything. And I think Stephen, you're going to touch on were you going to say, what did you think of the
Netflix,
Daredevil
the
TV series?
Netflix. Oh yeah,
Well,
because I think Netflix did a good job of it. I was
yes,
actually
I love.
very, very happy with the Netflix adaptation of that storyline.
Yep. I loved Elektra in the Netflix one. She was, attractive, but lethal. The action scenes were great. Her outfit was more around, skin tight, breathable, movable clothing, so she could, be silent and quick and that type of stuff, rather than hey, I'm here to look pretty type of thing. So
Yeah, no way in hell that red outfit would have looked like she wouldn't have been silent in that. Sorry to bring it back to the corset, but I just nah, sorry.
it's really funny. I have to admit that, and this might be a little bit controversial and everything with the industry, but predominantly it is comics in that are a male dominated industry. There are a lot of females that read comics and get into comics, but it hasn't been until I've actually had my daughter that I've kind of really been it's really highlighted to me what type of stories there are for women, or to show young girls and everything, and it really surprised me. Like when I even just tried to go down to the shop and go, oh, I'll get her like a cool superhero T-shirt or something like that. Yeah, it's either pink or white with pink, and I'm like,
Yep.
really? Like I can't get something grey or blue for her? Like she doesn't have to wear pink.
Or even something with Iron Man or Spider-Man or something, just something that would fit a girl. Not every girl is into princesses. Not every girl's into Frozen. 90% of girls are, but like, some kind of options.
DC's done a great job with superhero girls. Like she watches the cartoon series of that, and that's done really well. It's got the bad girls, Harley Quinn, and all that, Poison Ivy, and all that, as well as all the different superhero ones as well, and that's fantastic. It's just, I feel like Marvel has really kind of dropped the ball with this, and then they're slowly trying to bring it in now, but they're trying to bring it in at stories where you do have a lot of male readership, and then that's where the backlash comes, because they're like, well, why is this person like this, and blah 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 blah, and it's like, well, we're just, is it the storyline and why they're doing it to show a really good story, or is it more just around, okay, we're going to kind of just show a mixture of different people? Because a lot of people jumped up in arms when they made Bobby Iceman, Bobby Drake. And that made him gay because he's always been a womanizer and everything. But the story around that I thought was quite good, because it showed why he never ended up with someone, because he was womanizing, because he was really gay. And I was like, that is good storytelling. That is, showing someone that, has acted and been a certain way for a long period of time because he couldn't, say and how he really felt. So what is it like, picking up books and you watched this movie and you went, oh my god, really, you got to in a red corset type of thing? How frustrating is that, going, well, why can't you just have any sort of other outfit that you would put a guy in a trench coat or something? Like,
look, it's frustrating, but it's not. Look, I'm not a particularly sensitive kind of person, okay? Like, I love the female figure. I love pinup. I love, like, that's where my art sort of started, was with pinup drawing and stuff like that. Like, I love the female figure. But in terms of someone that is a powerhouse woman that would be able to represent women in general, especially in the superhero / comic scene, it's a little bit vague, right? There's not too much going on. it's gotten so much better in the last couple of years, and people have gotten really good. But so it's hard for me because I'm not. I love Iron Man. I love Spider-Man. I love everyone. Like I love them all, and I'm not particularly phased on it. And they all have their really good qualities, and it's just. I want people, like especially women, to feel empowered by any venue, and to have not a figure to really represent them is hard. And I try and create that with my own stuff, but I don't want to be, typical cliche, just trying to force it too much. Like I just want to create a character that is strong, not particularly based on the fact that they are female, if that makes sense.
That
I
does.
100% agree with you.
And that's a great
story.
segue. And that's a great segue. That's what I was going to ask. One thing you didn't say that you did do is that you do actually create your own series. It's Lana Leuka. Is that
Lana Leuka? Yeah.
Okay, it is. I wasn't sure I was pronouncing that correctly. So can you tell us a little bit about Lana Leuka and how you came up with that idea, and if you can either message me or drop in the chat a link to where people can get it as well after you.
Yeah, happy to.
Yeah.
So Lana Leuka, I've said this a million times before, but she's kind of just like a manifestation of everything that I believe in, like being a badass woman and just doing whatever the hell you want, not caring about what anybody else thinks. And I think that is something that women of today need, is just having someone that just sort of gives them courage to be able to be who they are and not give a F whatever else everybody else thinks. So it is like a fantasy noir kind of comic, where it's sort of bringing in bits and bobs from different fantasy realms, gods, or whether it's different devils or demons or something like that. That's stuff that you've heard before, but it's sort of like like putting them all together to be one. So it's more about just her just being like herself and just absolutely just kicking butt the whole time.
Dude, that's very, very cool. So you ran a Kickstarter for it?
Yeah. I've got to ask the character design. She's
Yay!
part antelope. Tell me about that, because that sounds really cool.
So so as I mentioned before, it's like all about taking into mythology and stuff like that. So she is actually a jackalope, which is
Jackalope, sorry.
rabbit cross antelope. Jackalope. So it's only because she's got tiny little horns, right? Like you can't really tell. So yeah, so the jackalope thing is more entwined with the mythology side of things, and which will kind of come into fruition later on. We're actually working on issue 2 now as we speak. But yeah, she's got little bits and bobs that will come out later on.
That's so cool. I love your art style. What kind of influenced you to go like this with your art style?
So I am very heavily influenced by John, as you know, Samariva, and also Sketchcraft, Rob. He's an absolute superstar, and he's been really helping me in terms of my sequential art, and just getting me more confident in my work. Like he's been really fantastic in that. But it's more, I think I had a podcast about this recently, but it was all about creating just real confidence in yourself and not actually caring. Because I know a lot of people go like, what's my style? Like, I don't know what my style is. I need to find my style before I can make it, blah, blah, blah. But everyone's got their style. Like they draw a certain way, right? Their hand is automatically going to do it. But it's all about making sure that you're confident, and then really just knuckling down on that and being like, yes, this is me. This is what I'm comfortable in. And then actually just really pushing that forward. And I think this project in particular was sort of the pinnacle moment for me to be like, this is me. This is all that I've got. Enjoy it. don't enjoy it, don't care. But this is me, pretty much.
That's a good attitude to have, because whenever you put something out in the world, you're going to have people that like it, and you're going to have people that don't like it. So it's kind of nice to be able to go, I tell you what, I'm putting this out for me. I'm putting this out because I need to kind of tell this story. I hope it resonates with people. But if it doesn't, that's cool. Move on to the next thing. So yeah. So how did you come up with the story around this one? Was it something that you had been thinking about for ages, or was it something that just an inspiration that came to you? Or
Well, ages is an understatement, I think. It's been maybe, oh God, maybe 7 years since I started thinking about this character. It was once
wow.
off, yeah, in my in one of my previous jobs, I was working with a fantastic artist, and it was good because these girls that I worked with were not comic artists; they were traditional artists. They did whether it was watercolor or painting or acrylics or something like that. It was actually really cool to get their perspective on it, because when they think about someone that works in the comic industry, and we do fan art, right? We do fan art, we copy other people's work, and they don't understand it. Not that it's wrong, but they don't understand it. So they go like, well, why do you create other people's work and not create your own? It's because, well, one, I enjoy it. Two, other people enjoy it as well. But it kind of struck a chord with me to think like, actually, why am I not creating something for myself? And then we just sort of had like a little chat session, and we were throwing ideas around, and then we created this character that was sort of a part of me, and a part of what I wanted to put into the industry that was not really it wasn't alive just yet. Like, I wanted this absolute kick-ass of a girl that was sort of like the Tank Girl crossed with Jessica Rabbit, like crossed with something. Like, it was all just like a mash of everything that really got me into pop culture. And so this is why I created Lana Leuka. Like, she was this girl that I could just do whatever I wanted to, and she had all these different sides to it. But then I got on a my old animation teacher, Tanya Beeson, and she is a fantastic writer, absolutely phenomenal, and she absolutely brought my idea to life. Look, I can draw the house down, but when it comes to writing, it's not going to happen. I will just absolutely make like chit chat. She did such a good job in bringing it to life, and even like the second issue, which I just read yesterday, absolutely incredible. And I'm so thankful for her, and she did such a good job. And I think that's good because we have a full female team, because our colorist is female as well, and I think that's really good for people to notice. Like, that wasn't intended at all. I just really wanted to get people on board that were super talented, and I just really wanted to support others that weren't getting noticed, and it just so happened that all three of us were female, so it was good. It worked out well.
I didn't even realize that on the project. So that's absolutely awesome. And you're fulfilled that first Kickstarter that's already out to all
Yeah, it's
backers.
been gone. It came out a year ago, which is sad
Oh wow!
because I
So
really
that
should.
took that long. Jeez,
I
we're just
should
talking
say the
about that
second
off
one.
air.
Oh no, the second one. Hopefully, I'll get like the sign up notify me Kickstarter up in the next couple of weeks. But after that, yeah. So it's just because I've been really busy in terms of doing some stuff for Andrew Tribe, doing the bulk comics, and then also I'm working for Cheeky Monkey, the brewery, and just stuff comes up all the time. So COVID's been like crazy, but it's also been really good, like busy wise. But yeah.
So big Kickstarter tip, and opening it up to the people. I know there are some creators who are on the chat as well. So hi, any creators in the chat, get that pre-launch page up and running as quickly as possible. You actually don't need to complete the entire thing. You just chuck in a couple of things, chuck in a couple of images, make say 3 or 4 rewards. It doesn't need to be completed. The only thing you really need is that banner image, a really good banner image, and your log line. Those are the two key things that you need to get the pre-launch up. For example, I think my wordsmith, I actually had my pre-launch up for about 7 months. So, it's
That's
every once in
crazy.
a while. I just, it wasn't, the campaign wasn't finished. I only
Yeah.
actually really finished it about 2 weeks before it went live, and I was panicking. Oh my God, I was just checking on the stuff in the last 2 weeks. Prior to that, it was just basically placeholders. I thought, this is what the cover should look like. I'll put the cover here. This is, and the campaign's not finished. So that shouldn't take you too long to get at least the base campaign up, get it reviewed and approved. And once it's done, start sharing that link out, because that initial follower count does really help. Um,
Yeah.
it's purely anecdotal because I don't have enough evidence about it. But it seems to be whatever your follower count is, it seems to double into your back account. So if you
Oh
can get
wow.
about 100 followers um, in before you
Pre-launch.
launch,
Yeah.
you get about 200. Again, very we're talking a sample size of about 10 creators, so about 10 different projects, and that's, again, it's not enough to extrapolate all the way out. I did
Yeah.
maths in high school.
Someone who's done
But
this
The
well
science
that I've
nerds coming
seen
out.
recently.
I know,
Yes.
I'm sorry. But anyway, it's only been about 10, but this is using some of Sean's projects, using some of my projects, using some friends' projects. It doubles. It seems to double. So if you can get
Wow.
up to, say, about, imagine you got to like 150 followers, you're probably looking about 300 backers in your campaign at the end of it. So
Crazy.
it's
Yeah, like I
it's
was saying,
worth
like
doing.
the one creator that I've seen that's done this well, especially with his recent one, is Darren Close, who's done his Killaroo campaign. And like it just the simple banner that he's done and just plugging that like follow thing, like it's I looked at it today actually and followed it myself. Incredible. Like it doesn't take much. If you've got a powerful image at that first homepage, then you're set. G. Like it's fine.
Oh, exactly. So that's the main thing I'm saying. If you've got the banner ready, I would say just go straight for it. Oh my
Mhm.
God, this is my story that you drew.
So if
It's
people
all
don't know,
Lauren.
if people don't know, this is a short story that Stephen had written and Lauren had drawn for the Extreme Champion tournament. So it's based on the Frost Giants and Bjorn Ironside. So which is kind of cool. I thought I would have you both you guys on the show that we could have a quick chat about what you thought about it, and this been 3 years ago, I think, Lauren, and what do you think
No,
now?
more. More
Is it
now.
more than that? Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of
Wow.
my first like sequential jobs, like incredibly raw, um, but loved it. I learned so much from this project. It was incredible.
Look, I had a great, because I don't know if you know, I think Sean knew, but I was talking to you a little bit behind the scenes. Like we were just messaging each
Mm.
other about this project, because there were a couple of scenes in this which I was thinking, oh man, is it a bit too gruesome? And because there's a massacre. Spoiler, if you haven't read it, it's been three
This
years now, guys. It's
this
too
one
late.
here.
The kid
Yeah,
crying. That was
the
a
kid
little bit.
crying. I was thinking, oh, is it too much? They massacre everything, but they don't show the massacre. They see the kid getting scared, and I was thinking, oh, I
The
don't
kid
know. Was
crying.
that too much, or you didn't mind that
Uh,
part too much?
I think it gets the point across. That's the main part.
I'm just sharing Darren's Kickstarter pre-launch in the chat as well. So if anybody hasn't signed up, please sign up for Darren's pre-launch as well. But I love that story because I don't know if you know some of the story behind it. It's where George R. R. Martin stole the Red Wedding from. If
Oh wow.
So the original story, which I didn't know any of this before Sean. We did some research on it. It was actually Thor and Loki were trying to kill the Frost Giant. So Loki was disguised as the bride, and so Thor went in. Here's my bride, but it's actually my brother who's shapeshifted into this beautiful girl, and they sneak in and basically they kill all the Frost Giants. And I thought
Ah,
that was really gruesome. And the actual Thor mythology, it's horrible. They are horrible, horrible people. Thor and Loki.
they're nasty.
Yeah,
They're
they
absolutely
are.
nasty.
The MCU version are really nice. They're really sweet. I love
The
Tom
G-rated
Hiddleston.
compared to what actually happens.
But man, they were horrible people. It's like, you know what? I don't really like you. I think I'll kill you today. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just feel like killing you today.
Well, I'm looking forward to actually. We don't have many left of that anthology, and I'm looking forward to going back and actually recoloring or actually coloring. I haven't recolored because it was black and white. Coloring that book and re-releasing it, so which will be kind of cool because that anthology has been pretty popular and expanding that XCT universe. And if people don't know, my little plug now is that I have a new anthology coming out in June this year. So it is called XCT Monsters. Which is super cool and super exciting, but it's very similar to the previous anthology. It's got 6 short stories, all based within the XCT universe, and it's just at the pre-launch page, as we said beforehand. So I'll chuck the link in the comments. But yeah, as I said, it's not going to be released until about June. This year, maybe a little bit later. We're just waiting on one last story from Stephen, which is kind of cool. So yeah.
This is a heads up. I'm not holding it up. The story has been written. It's actually with the artist. So you make it sound like I'm holding it up.
Come on, Stephen.
No. No, the writing side always seems to be the big part of it. It's the artist that I have to hound all the time. No, Alan Sands, who's doing that story, is fantastic, and really we just threw this at him at the last minute. It wasn't like we went, do you mind doing this story, and I'll have it to you in a couple of months. I was like, we've got this story now, can you do it next week? Type of thing. But that's always cool. So what do you have?
Did you do the cover photo for that one?
No, that cover photo is Ben Sullivan. So he's a Melbourne-based artist. So this is actually another story that Stephen has written, which I absolutely love. It's about based on Pegasus, and that story, that's a double-page spread in that story. So the Chimera versus Pegasus. So, but I actually saw Ben's stuff. A while ago, he did a pin-up for Dead Man's Land, a horror-graphic novel that I did. And he had a very different painted style and everything like that. And then he did Toby and the Magic Pencil, and it was very animated, Marvel-esque, like kids, Disney-esque type kids. And I was like, I didn't really realize you did that style. And I was probably expecting him to do that style for this story. And it come back very like 70s, old 70s, 80s, the Marvel and DC style artwork, where it was a lot of curves, really heavy ink brushed and everything. I was just like, man, this is just absolutely beautiful and very different from everything that I've kind of done with XCT. I do fall into the trap that I kind of like a certain style, and you were saying before, every artist has a certain style. Not being an artist, I didn't realize that I'm drawn to a certain style. So, to make sure that I'm a little bit mindful that I don't kind of, especially when I'm doing different books, that I'm not just doing the same style of art, and that, we're mixing it up a bit as well. So, but yeah, Ben Sullivan, that was a very long answer for who did the cover.
It's a good answer, though. It's okay.
Yeah.
No,
okay, cool.
Ben's a good guy. I'll try to find, for people in the chat, I'll try to find Ben Sullivan's Facebook page. I'll chuck in the chat if you guys want to see more of his really incredible artwork.
So, where can people find you, Lauren? Where can people jump on, follow you, or get your wares, any of that type of stuff?
So I am heavily on Instagram, so you can find me at the martial arts, just one word, or you can find me at the martial arts on Facebook. I'm not super social savvy, if that makes sense, but I am absolutely art savvy, so I'm going to be throwing out stuff left, right, and center. But if you follow me on either of those, you're going to find me, and then I will help you if you want to DM me or anything like that. I love helping other people get ahead, and I love critiquing. I love just supporting other artists. So yeah, flick me anything and I'll be able to help you out.
I've just shared your Facebook page on the chat. Do you want to bring the page
I just did it as well.
Oh, there you go. Too efficient.
So it's in there triple time. So
you guys are too good. Stop being so efficient.
Do you want to bring up the page? There's some really, really awesome artwork on the page. Let's show off some of Lauren's artwork.
Yeah, okay, no problem. And so can you tell us a little bit like how you first got into artwork and how you would kind of encourage more females to get into the comic book and sequential art style? Can you give us some suggestions or some tips?
Love to. So I personally got into artwork when I was younger. I actually saw Toy Story for the first time, the first one, and I absolutely fell in love with animation. So I got my diploma in animation as soon as I left school, but obviously that didn't work out because there's obviously not enough jobs in Perth for animation back then. That was a good 10 or 12 years ago. So I went into traditional style. In terms of like women trying to get into the industry, I'm really ruthless in terms of my work ethic. I will work day and night to get stuff done, and I will be really thick skin when it comes to anything like that. Where I know not everybody can be as thick skin as I am. I'm kind of dead inside, so if that helps. But, I would honestly say just work more on your confidence and work more on just honing your style. As soon as you have that absolute understanding of what you are and what your art is, then you're unstoppable pretty much. You just keep putting it out there and keep improving and keep moving forward. People get stuck in this idea, and I used to teach illustration last year to a whole bunch of like 16, 7-year-olds, right? And there was a heap of girls. There was so many girls. There's more girls than guys in these classes, and they were just so thirsty to know more and to illustrate more. And the best thing that I said to them was just be true to who you are and be absolutely sure of where you want to go. As soon as this is for anybody. This is not even for women. Like, this is just for anybody, is just absolutely focus on where you want to go, and stop doubting yourself. I know that's way harder than it sounds, but as soon as you find that good ground, then you G like it just happens. Like, this magic happens, and I've stopped caring what anybody else thinks of me, and I've stopped caring about where my art goes or where it is, but I'm just putting out stuff that I'm proud of. I'm putting out stuff that I am accelerating and improving my skills. And I think that's the best part. And I think for anybody, women, men, I just want the whole community to move forward. And that's the best part for me.
I would really like to see you on a Turtles book.
IDW, give me something.
I would really like to see you on a Turtles book, or even a cover. Or Earthworm Jim. Yeah.
Oh no, but back on the other point is, and this is something I find really interesting because I think Sean knows that. I don't know if you know this, but I do a lot of primary school talks. So I go to the different primary schools, and so part of what I do is, you talk to the kids about storyboarding. Look, I'm not as great an artist as you, but I do show, I give a little bit of basics. But I find that most of the kids I talk to are usually between, say, 10 to 12, year 5, year 6. And you find that when usually I ask them, hey, build the character up, draw it, show it to me, we'll have a discussion point about it afterwards. There's no fear there in terms of they don't really mind that they'll just draw, they'll just bring it forward. But I always find that somewhere, even myself, over the time, when you get older, you stop wanting to show people stuff. You start thinking, oh man, that's crap. I don't want to show that. Oh, that's horrible. And you start second guessing your own work, and you start going, no, not that's bad. And I don't know what changes. Like when you're that year 5, year 6, man, they were so happy to show everybody. They were so proud of it. And this was stuff. They were just proud of it. They were so excited about it. And somehow I think
fear is taught, mate. That's the issue. Fear is taught. We're not born with fear. We are, you touch a kettle that's hot, and you go, "Oh, that's hot," and then you go, "Okay, I better not touch that again." It's the same with all of these type of things, and this is where probably another not common, but I hate participation trophies and that type of stuff for the reason being that there is always going to be a winner and a loser. It doesn't mean that what you did was not good or your best. It just means someone was better than you, and that you need to work harder to get to that level. And sometimes that's not fair. Some things come easier to other people than others. But I don't feel that providing people with participation trophies and those type of things is benefiting them in any way, rather than saying, I tell you what, you're really close, you're almost there, you need to work on X, Y, Z. And if you do X, Y, Z, then next time you might be the winner or come third or whatever, or you at least improve on what you did last time. And that's what it should be about. It should be about yourself and bettering yourself. But we kind of ingrain and teach that fear and that competitiveness and that fear to fail, when really we should be going, I tell you what, failure is good as long as you learn something from it, as long as you move forward, as long as you can learn from it and not do it again. If you keep doing it, well then, you're just going to hit your head up against a brick wall. But if you're learning something from it, then don't fear to fail. And, Lauren, you said something really good before in regards to when you know where you want to go and what you want to do, then really nothing can stop you other than yourself. And Renee, our guest last week, said something very similar. Once he realized what he wanted to do, then it was just doors started opening, because he, put all of his effort into doing a portfolio around what he wanted to do, started, showing people that, and then, it was one step after another, and then before you know it, doors started opening. So I think what you said was 100% spot on.
Do you know what a really, really powerful tool is? Can I swear?
Yeah. It's up to 10 o'clock.
To not give a fresh fuck what anybody thinks. And I'm not talking about your art or your level of art. Like, it's really good to get critique. It's really good to get people's perspective on your work. But in terms of people, I think a lot of people get held back because either family or friends or whatever just be like, comics is not a real job. Art's not a real job. Or something like that. It could be any industry. If someone's saying that to you, it's not you, it's them. And that sounds so cliche and ridiculous, but as soon as you harness that fact that you just do not give a fresh fuck what anybody thinks about you, then you can excel so far forward that it's ridiculous. Like, and also, like, just absolutely emits to everybody else that is around you. I feel like people close to me or whatever, like, I just want to give them everything that I've got, and they just move forward as well. So, it's just, that's, if I could give anybody advice, is just to really not care. Like, care, but not care. Like,
the one thing that the one thing that frustrates me in the industry is when people go, "Oh, there's no money in the industry. I'll just do it for the love of it."
There's money there if you want to find it.
Exactly right. 100%. 100%. You're right. And it's not about are you going to be a millionaire of comics? No. There's no way you or I shouldn't say there's no way. The likelihood of you being a millionaire of comics is very minute. But is the possibility there? Yeah, look at Boom Studios. They did one Kickstarter and raised $2 million. Yes, they had Keanu Reeves on board.
I've got him in my pocket. I'll pick him out in the next couple of
months. If someone said to them, "Oh, there is no way you are going to raise $1 million on a comic book project," I bet you 99 out of 100.
Prove me wrong that I'm not going to make that much.
Yep.
Tell me why I'm not. Like that's all you have to say to them. Is just like, tell me why I'm wrong, and then they're not going to be able to tell you anything, right?
Yep. It's just about doing things smarter, things different, and things that, again, what you said, what works for you, type of thing. Once you find that, then there's money and ways to expand. But if your mindset already is, I'm not going to make money, I can't do anything, and I don't care, I'm just going to do it for the love of it, well then, I tell you what, that's what you're going to get. You're going to just do it for the love of it, and you're probably not going to make a lot of money.
I was working 3 jobs before I actually got somewhere. I was working 3 jobs that was 24/7 for me, and then all of a sudden it just worked. If you want it, go for it. Just commit, and then absolutely put your heart and soul into it. Like, it's going to be harder for some, it's going to be easy for others. If you want it, make it work.
Oh, look, just had someone on the chat say that they've just received a Kickstarter package last week.
Yay!
I'm sorry.
That's not the Lana Leuka one. That's your sketch one, isn't it? That's not your Lana Leuka one.
No, that's my sketch book. Hopefully it's not Lana Leuka. I'm sorry.
Chris has said that your art style is gorgeous.
Thank you, Chris. That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, there's another question from Chris if you scroll down as well for our guest.
I will say participant trophies are one of the biggest problems we have today. Yeah, I knew that was going to be a contentious one, but I try to post work in progress a lot over the fear of showing stuff, but it's so hard. Even now in my mid-30s, it makes me nervous. Yeah, it is. Putting stuff out there, anything, that fear of being judged is hard. So,
but you know what? People are in the same situation, especially someone that's trying to make it, and they want to see progress shots. They don't want to see finished stuff. They want to see stuff that is like rough and raw. They want to see that people actually struggle as much as them because it makes it relatable, right?
Yeah, 100%. So this one, Chris has said, yes, anything creative is not seen as a real job, but how do they think their favorite creatives who do it as a job got there? 100%. If I was Christian or Catholic or whatever, I'd be going, preach to me, hallelujah, Chris. But yes, it's spot on. It's true. Like, how do you reckon Jim Lee got there? How do you reckon he started Image Comics? He treated it seriously. He treated it as a job. He was exceptional at what he did, and went on it. I take a lot of points and kudos from Scout Comics. If no one's checked out Scout Comics, have a look at them. They've been around for probably 6 or 7 years, but over the last 2 to 3 years, they've really shot out of the canon a lot of their work and everything. And again, they're probably people that were told at the time, there's no money in comics, and why especially indie comics, we just do a love. And here they are now in Diamond. They've just picked up book distribution through a book publisher, and they're getting, I think, 4 or 5 of their books have been optioned for TV series. So there definitely is the opportunity there. It's just about being positive, finding those opportunities, and as always, a lot of hard work. It's not easy. Unless you have Stephen on your team, then you just get him to do all the hard work, and then you just sit here and go, Stephen, where's that story? I want that story.
Look, we come up to the hour, and look, we thank our guests for all the time, and look, thanks to chat as well, always for everybody who's turned up. We'll leave I'm good. We'll leave the last word to Lauren, and then Sean, you can close it off. Any last words?
I just want to say to everybody, I know there's a lot of times where you feel like it's not working and you're not believing in yourself, but please put in that grind. Just stick true to your guns. I believe in you and you can do it. I'm so happy. Just amazing.
Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experiences. I really appreciated it, and I think a lot of people will get a lot out of this. I'll definitely be sharing this around, and if people are out there, share this link around so people can watch it back later. I think there's a lot of great advice in there. So thank you everyone for coming along tonight. Again, if you haven't already, please subscribe and hit that notify bell, and we will see you all again next Sunday night at 10 p.m.
Bye.